Back. Chair now recognizes Mr. Fry from South Carolina.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Administrator, thank you for being here. I want to begin with an item of great importance, at least to the people of South Carolina and the PD region. As you may know, Gailey and Lord, about the Gailey and Lord plant site, which sits along the Cedar Creek and the Great PD River in Society Hill, South Carolina. It was abandoned in 2016. Mr. Administrator, Gailey and Lord is a former textile plant that began operations in 1966. PFAS dyes and heavy metals have since contaminated the soils, the wetlands around the site, the waterways around the plant. Hurricane Florence, most recently, also caused a release of wastewater to nearby Cedar Creek and to the Great PD River in 2018, further posing damage to my constituents. After a voluntary cleanup contract was terminated in 2017, it took the EPA 2 additional years to remove the site's 2,400 abandoned containers, including 100,000 gallons and 53,000 pounds of liquid waste. Gailey and Lord was finally added to the EPA's Superfund National Priorities List in March of 2022. Still, I have serious concerns about the timeliness of EPA's actions in Society Hill. After visiting Society Hill just last week, I have difficulty believing the tangible steps have been taken to address the issue. Administrator, I understand the site's remedial investigation and feasibility study was made possible after this priority listing in 22. Can you describe this investigation and any subsequent actions that the EPA has taken since that time?
Yes, I can say that we are working very aggressively to, it's on the Superfund priority site, and the ultimate goal that we share is to make this economically viable, a commercial industrial property in the community again. Field sampling is anticipated to begin later this year. I think that we have more resources through the bipartisan infrastructure law, that $5 billion focused on Superfund and brownfields. So we have more resources. This is a priority, and I think that you will see us moving much quicker than we have in the past.
Thank you. What is the timeline or estimated completion date that you believe exists?
Let me get you that. I don't have that timeline in front of me, but I don't mind being transparent and sharing that with you.
Thank you. I do appreciate that. How do you suggest the small town of Society Hill, they've got about 1,000 residents, how do you suggest that they would deal with this over the course of such a long period of time?
Listen, it's tough. We've seen this all across the country. It's unfair. It's a burden. It lowers morale. It lowers property values. And so we understand the sense of urgency that we need to take. And the hard part is living with this before it is listed on the NPL list or it's listed. Once it's listed, it moves much quicker. It's going to move even quicker because we have the bipartisan infrastructure law resources. So it's a weight on the community, and we are very sensitive to that.
Thank you for that. And I'm just curious, I had the opportunity last week to visit it. It just looks like a war zone. The plants have burned twice. I think twice, maybe even more. There's giant holes in the sides of the buildings. It's completely overgrown. People come to peel off scrap metal and steal from it. Are there logistical concerns that pose a delay to the time frame of cleaning up this site and returning it back to its natural state?
I don't think there are any logistical concerns. I will say that I share the concerns that you've just laid out, which is trespassing and theft and other things. I think we're looking into some fencing and some other things that we can do to prevent people from coming on site, maybe even some beautification while we're doing the work. And so my folks have committed to me that they are focused on this. It's a high priority, and I'm hoping we can stay in touch on this.
Well, and I appreciate that. Happy to be a willing partner with you on it. It's of great importance to that part of the region of my state. Do you, with respect to the security around it, the fencing, other things that may occur, is that something that the EPA would be funding, or was that something that the property owner itself or other entities would be contributing to?
That's something that more than likely, to expedite the time frame, EPA could fund and then get the funds back from the polluter, the perpetrator.
What do you expect, just curious, out of pure curiosity, Administrator, what do you expect the cost of that to be? What is the anticipated cost of cleanup of that site?
I have no idea. I would be purely guessing if I threw out a number.
Okay. What is it? What do you see in other sites around the country? The cost range, if you will. Like between $1 million and $100 million, something like that, or what do you?
I tell you what, we'll get those to you really quickly.
Okay. Looking forward to partnering with
And the
you.
reason that is that they range. You know, these sites, they range in size, they range in contamination, they range in the depth of the contamination. So that's a pretty hard question to answer without exactly knowing what your site looks like.
Would love to work with you on that. I think it's of great importance. A lot of people are very frustrated, not necessarily with the EPA, but just with the site itself
Sure.
Out there. So to the extent that we could expedite it, that we can get that place cleaned up. It's a beautiful part of the state. They've got tremendous natural resources, and would love to see it return back to its natural state.
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir.